would you like your own personal life coach? Well, guess what? You have one now. Every Monday morning at 7:30, it's time for your Monday morning motivational moment. Kick off your week just right. Monday mornings at 7:30 on 103.9 FASFM.
Nice to have you around at 7:30. Lorraine on the phone for our Monday morning motivational moment. Lorraine, hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you back.
Yes. Don't you love seeing the sunshine up this early? Is it just me because I have to be up early?
No. Well, I do too. I'm up at 3:30 every morning.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
It is so nice not to have to turn the porch light on to go start your car.
Oh, well, I still have to do that. But again, I live odd hours because of morning drive. But overall, it's nice. And of course, those of us who go to sleep earlier than others, we're going to love it when it's pitch black at like 5 o'clock at night.
Well, it makes it feel better when you put your pajamas on at like 6.
I know, right?
Such a nerd.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I'm glad for you to kick off our week once again, Monday morning motivational moment with our life coach, Lorraine. And Lorraine, what do you have for us to focus on this week?
I have a reoccurring theme of relationships. So it's really important to talk about relationships. That's why I do it so much. Because everything we have comes to us through other people. So it makes them very, very important. But how do we understand the dynamic of relationships? I mean, how do we create a snapshot of a relationship as it is today so that we can make it better? Do you have any ideas about that?
You know what, I'm going to let you go right into it because, a zillion things just came into my mind on, what we can do. It depends on the relationship, communication, honesty. I guess it just depends on the specific relationship.
It's overwhelming. That's really cool that you would because when you start to think about relationships, it becomes so overwhelming that most people don't ever really get started making them better. So I'm going to help with that today. So you start by decoding patterns of conversation. What are the things you talk about the most? And what is the most common mood of those conversations? Happy, critical, needy, and things like that.
Okay.
And there are other things to look for, of course, but just decoding the conversation patterns will get you going. And from this snapshot, you'll start to see the relationship as it is today. And from there, you can start experimenting by changing the things you talk about and the mood you create.
This makes sense to me because there are, I have one particular friend that if anything positive ever comes out of his mouth, I'm absolutely shocked. He always doesn't feel well. He's always complaining about work. And I don't like to talk with him or really be around him because it's just like an energy sucker. And so of course, if he needs to vent, I'll be there for him. I'll listen, yada, yada, yada. But I find myself sometimes avoiding him or maybe not getting back to him right away because I know it's just going to be the same old and it's draining. It is so draining, and that's the kind of person he's such a good person, but for whatever reason, negativity is all that comes from him. And I've been told that I am always happy and always positive, and people want to know the secret. And I'm like, I don't know the secret. But so it's very interesting because I know certain relationships and what you can expect and not expect from them and how they're going to be when you're with them. And he's one of those people that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't deal right now.
Well, it's interesting because once you start thinking about it as decoding the mood or decoding the relationship by the patterns created through conversation, well, then it's really obvious. You become aware, and then the steps to take to make it better can naturally rise to the top. So that's this week's challenge.
Okay.
To pick a close relationship and decode those patterns. Find out where you are today, and then make a plan to experiment to make even a great relationship better. Because remember, the stronger your relationships are with other people, the better the opportunities you'll have to be happy.
Have you ever had to break up with a friend?
Yes. I
have had to break up with a friend too, and that ended up being my solution because of the way it was and the way the relationship was going. So that I feel like everyone I talk to has at one point. So this is going to be an interesting week for all of us to kind of decode whether it's husband, wife, close friend, best friend, someone at work, who knows.
And sometimes when you decode it, you'll see that the gap between you isn't really that big, and you can take steps. And sometimes, like you said, you're going to see not any architectural feat could bridge that gap, and that's a tough decision to make.
Lorraine, thank you again. We will talk to you next Monday morning, 7:30. What is your website so people can go and get more information?
Peacemakercoach.com.
Peacemakercoach.com. Lorraine, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get to that traffic now with Lori Blanchard. As always, some amazing advice from Lorraine and a way to, look at things, try and figure them out. All right, Lori Blanchard, Mercedes-Benz.